Hello everyone and welcome back. In this video I'm going to show you that how you can use the animated container to produce some basic animations. So I already have a page, it's called the home page, and you can see in the scaffolding I have the align widget, and inside the align widget I have a column with a container with width 100 and height 100 and color orange. And I also have a flat button. You can see on the right hand side on the iPhone I do have a flat button. When I click the button, nothing really happens. Now what I want to do is I want to animate the size of this particular container. So the good thing is that you can do all of this stuff by using something called the animated container. So let me go ahead and change this from container to animated container. Now, one of the requirements when you change it to animated container is that you have to pass in the duration. So duration, say duration in seconds and 10 seconds. Now, which is a long amount of time. So animated container is a special type of widget which allows you to animate certain properties of the animated container. These properties include the width, the height, the color. You can also animate other stuff, like in this case we are animating color and all that stuff, but you can also add other animations like border radius, and all of those things. You cannot animate the transform property, and you cannot animate the child of animated container. So there is a child which you can set it to any widget, but you can't really do that. You can't animate the child. You can have a child, but you cannot animate it. So now the question is, how do we animate? Well, what we have to do is we want to change this particular property, width, height, or color. But we have to change it over time. So we can't really do that in a stateless widget. We will have to make sure that we are using a stateful widget. So I'm going to change the home page into underscore homepage state and going to use a state for homepage. Now we don't really have anything called homepage, so let's go ahead and create that. This will extend the stateful widget, and if you're using stateful, then you will have to override at least one function which is going to return you the homepage state. That function is called the create state, and the create state or the state will be managed by the homepage state. Perfect. Let's go ahead and refresh it or hot reload it. So now what we want to do is when the button is actually pressed, we want to change this particular property, which is the width. So for that, I'm going to go ahead and create a property called width. And I will initialize it to 100. And I'm simply going to substitute this 100 with width. Okay, nothing really special about that, because the width is 100, so it simply assigns 100 to the width of the animated container, and it appears just like that. Now the magic actually happens if you go ahead and change the width property. So if I call set state and change the width property, so width equals to width, or you can just say 200, then you're going to see that by changing this property, this particular build function, the whole of the build function is going to fire again, which in turn is going to change the property from 100 to 200. And that is going to allow it to animate between 100 width and 200 width, and it has to complete in 10 seconds. And now you can see that if I click on the animate, you can see that it is actually moving and it is expanding because we are only changing the width. Now it is taking 10 seconds, that's a long amount of time, so let's go ahead and change it to 3 and do a hot restart. And now you can see it's a little bit quicker. If you do want to change the height also, so we can go ahead and use the same variable, or you can create a different variable, that's fine too. And now you can see it's getting much bigger in both the direction, the width and the height. You can even change the color. So if I go ahead and create some sort of a color, and I can go ahead and assign it the orange color, so that we're beginning with at least orange, I can go ahead and assign the color, which is color. And inside setState, I can go ahead and change the color to colors.pink. Let's go ahead and reset it. And now if I'm animating, you can actually see the color is now changing also. So we were able to animate the width, the height, the color. You can also change the radius and all that kind of stuff. You can also make it happen. So in final words, the animated container, although it sounds like if you can only change the width and height and color and maybe the border and border radius and all that, it's very limited. But by combining these effects in special way, you can create some really cool effects. And maybe I'll go that over in the later videos, but this is at least to give you a basic introduction to the animated container in Flutter. Thank you so much. If you want to support my channel, then go to Udemy and check out my many different courses, 24 courses, which are on many different technologies, including the combined framework, SwiftUI, NodeJS, server-side programming, augmented reality, MapKit, and so much more. I'm actually working on a brand new Flutter course, which will be available very, very soon. I'm working very hard on it, so it will be available hopefully very soon. And the best way to get my courses is to simply check out the YouTube description. I have all the links for my courses in the YouTube description. So please click on the link and then go to the YouTube, or click on the link and then go to the Udemy to get the discount. So that is going to help me a lot. Thank you so much. And if you have any questions, please let me know.